Okay, today we're going to look at the holder drawing. We've already done the 3 views, so today we want to look at the isometric, which is this one. So make sure you have your packet out. There's no real difference to the setup. You have to figure out your overall height, width, and depth to box it in, just like we just did on the special key. So 4 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Those are your 3 measurements that you'll need to start. Just to review a couple things, you want to make sure isometric grid is turned on, ortho is turned on, and you use Control E to change the cursor location. So start with your holder drawing that you've already done the 3 views of. We're going to do the isometric in the upper right corner here. So again, first thing, I need to switch my grid. So I go down here to isometric drafting. I need to turn that on by clicking it. So now it's blue and turned on. The other thing is make sure ortho is turned on. That's what's going to help you to keep the lines at the correct angles. And then remember, this is Control E. I'm hitting Control right now and pressing E on the keyboard, which changes the planes for your 3 directions. So I'm going to start with the front view here, which would be 4.75 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to start, right about here maybe, and I'll go this way, 4.75, enter. The height is 2 1/4, so 2.25, enter. Then I go this way, 4.75, enter, and I go down 2 1/4. Hit escape. Now I want to do this right side, which would be the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go this way. Now I can't go this way, so I'm going to do a Control E. So hit Control E. Now I can go 2.25, enter. I got to go straight up, so Control E, 2.25, enter, and then connect it back here, also 2 1/4. So that's a 2 1/4 square. And then finally, I got to finish the top view. So I want to go this way, 4.75, and then connect it back here, Control E, 2.25. So there's my box set up for the holder. Always double check your measurements. So I go this way, that should be 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square, and then it should be 4.75. Okay, now we're ready to start doing the inside of it. I like to start with the right side view. This L shape is pretty easy to get. If you notice here, the L shape, all it is an 1 1/8, 1 1/8, 1 1/8, 1 1/8. I just got to draw those steps, and they're all 1 1/8. So maybe I'll start with the L part first, though, which would be starting a line here. And actually, I got to switch to visible layer. Grab a line, and I'll just go here, and then I'll go up. So there's kind of that L part. And now I got to do the 1 1/8 steps. So I'll start right here. I'll go forward this way, 1.125. Do a Control E. Go down, 1.125. Go forward, 1.125. And then back down, 1.125. Be easy to get that little L shape in there, which is right there, that right side view. I have 4 kind of corners or little rectangles, these 4 corners here. Each of those 4 corners is the same, and the measurement of those is 1 1/8 by 1 3/8. So if you look at your drawing here, it would be this 1 1/8, and then this 1 3/8. So to do this, I already have the 1 1/8 that way, so I would have to go do a Control E, go this way, 1.375, and then Control E forward, it would be 1 1/8, so 1.125, and then back over 1 3/8. So that's that rectangle. I do the same thing down here. So I'm going to go over, so I'll start with this one, go over 1.375, forward 1.125, and then back over 1 3/8, or 1.375. So those 2 rectangles are identical, and then I would just connect this, Control E down to here, 1 1/8, so you can kind of see the steps. If I turn off my construction line, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. All right, I'm going to turn construction back on. Maybe I'll start working on the front view. Let's get the bottom of this, the bottom kind of U shape sort of. All I got to do is really connect a line from here to here. There's the bottom of that front view. Maybe I'll go and get this upper right corner or upper left corner here. It's the same rectangle I did here. That same rectangle also needs to be in this corner. So these two are the same as those two. So maybe I'll try to get this one, 1 1/8 by 1 3/8. So I'm going to go in that upper corner here. I'll do a control. I'll go this way. This is 1.375. Then I go Control E. I go forward 1 1/8. I go over this way 1.375. And then back over 1 1/8. So that's that same rectangle. I also need to get the steps going down. So I have this rectangle already. I got to go down, get this little L part here, the 1 1/8 down, and then 1 1/8 over or forward. So let's do that. So we're going to go from here, Control E, down 1.125, and then forward 1.125. That's kind of that L shape that I did over here. And because these are the same, I could even use my copy tool. Like if I wanted to get this bottom rectangle, I already have this line. So I'm going to actually select this, this, and this, those 3 lines there, and copy them over here. So I can use my copy tool, which is right here on the modify toolbar, or I can type in CO. So I have the 3 lines selected. Type in CO, hit enter. Base point, very important. Don't just click a random point. I want to go at this corner right here. I click, and now I want to move it to this point right here. Click. So I just moved that rectangle over. So you can use copy to help save yourself a little bit of time. And I'll connect that line. So now I have those same 2 L shapes in the corners. I'm going down right here in the middle. That would be this 1 1/2. I kind of got to get this little U shape in the middle. So I want to go down from here 1.5. That would be this back corner right here, going straight down 1.5. So I'm going to grab a line, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to go down 1.5, and then I'm going to go forward 2 1/4. And then this last little part just connects. So when I go forward 2 1/4, I just go straight up, and it ends up being 3/8. So I got to finish this U shape. The middle of the U is 2 inches, so I got to get this line going across. So that's going to be 2 inches. So Control E, go this way 2 inches. And again, if you did it right, you'll notice when you go straight up, it just connects, and that's that 3/8 measurement again. So now I have the U shape. I actually got to trace over this part too. And then finally, that 2-inch line I did here, I got to do it in the back as well. So I go from here. I'm going to go 2 inches. And again, we don't want to see hidden stuff in an isometric drawing. So I'm just going to trim off that little extra part. All right, I'm going to turn off my visible or my construction layer and see what I got. There we go. There's the finished holder drawing. At this point, if I want, I can shade it in too. I can use my gradient tool, which is GRA, enter, or I can just click the arrow here next to hatch and find gradient. And I can set whatever colors I want. Again, it's pretty cool. It defaults to our Sandberg colors there, but if I want to change it, I can. We'll just go with that. And I'll pick cylinder 1. I'll use that for my front views. Hit enter. Enter it again. It'll remember the tool. Maybe I'll use this one for my top views. And then finally, enter. Enter again. And I'll use maybe go up 1, or actually down a couple here. I'll go curved. And I'll use that for the right side. Enter. Last thing I would have to do is move this a little bit closer, because if I go to set this up on a layout, it's probably going to be too far away. So I want to carefully select just the isometric. So you might have to, if it's a little bit closer, you got to be very careful just to select only the isometric, nothing else. Once you have it, you can click M-Enter for move. And I'm just going to click a base point right there, and I'm going to move it in. Now again, you might have to turn off your ortho in order to be able to move it wherever you want. Even O-snap, I like to turn off when I'm moving, just so I don't snap to anything that I don't want to. And I'll move it right there. All right, so that completes the holder drawing. 3 views and now isometric.